Okay, on this Christmas Day of 2017, I'd like to go through my efforts of prospecting for the last 3 weeks. I've picked up a number of specimens we're going to go through today. Let me slide this over and we'll get a better view. With a little bit of luck, I can get some of y'all's feedback of what you think I'm doing right and wrong. This piece here definitely has silver content in it, possible gold, some copper, as you can see. This piece broke off. As we grab this piece, by the way, this is about a 10-pound piece. Slide it over. You can see the gold striations on the back, which is not copper, and there's plenty of silver throughout this. I have found some of these pieces actually contain platinum as well. We'll look at this piece, same thing. Bring this in so you can see it. You see there's gold striations all through it. You'll see a dark color there, which could be copper. And this color here, you see actual gold striations and flakes and chips and dust with silver. I'll roll this over so you can get a better look. Oop, my bad. There's actually silver content in this piece as well. Quite a lot of silver, quite a lot of gold content. Okay. Let's get this big bad boy back over here. And you notice the top color is a mixture of gold and what I believe to be copper. Now, we'll get to this piece and let's examine this up close and personal. Lots of copper, lots of silver content. As we go around, you can actually see veins of silver. So I believe this is a find worth keeping. And on the back side, you can see silver content with copper. I'd say a few pockets of gold striations. I'll have to grind this all up to actually see what it actually has in content as far as worth. And now we're going to move over to this piece. In this piece I found with that Big Ben, and I'm not quite sure if that's actually a mix of gold and copper or just copper. But I do know this piece is saturated with silver. Lots and lots of silver. And if you look close, see the striations of this gold. I will scrape all that off, and I'm sure I'll come up with a lot of gold dust. And if we flip it over, look at the side, that's all silver in there, folks, with gold on top. Look at the back of this. Look at all that gold sitting there. I will be asking for some help. I've just learned how to process all this stuff. But I'm learning. It's a work in progress. These pieces here are definitely the same quality, same type. You can see up close, looks like copper, possibly a little bit of gold, but definitely gold striations as you go through the rock. I found all this ore in northern Arizona in the desert and southern Nevada in the desert in the Laughlin Bullhead region, which are regions 53 and 54 according to the map system they have online. It's available. We'll look at this piece. I think this is a particularly cool looking piece just because it has natural formed holes in it and what appears to be copper and gold mixed. And you'll see gold striations here. You can actually see the scrapings. We can actually take those tailings off of that rock. And then you'll see pockets of silver and gold as we go through it. And especially on this side, you can see the gold there. So, here's another piece. Those big pieces all form one big rock, by the way. I chipped it away and had to dig it out of the ground. We have the same kind of thing here. As we turn inside, look at the gold striations. Look at the silver content, possibly platinum as well in the darker corners. And look at that. I believe these pieces are have considerable wealth. I really do. There's quite a bit of gold, quite a bit of silver content. So now that we went through the bigger pieces, we will zero in on some of these smaller pieces that have the same kind of content all from that big rock. I wanted to share this with everybody on YouTube so you can have an idea. I'm a first-time prospector in the desert. I was just out walking one day and came across a few things I thought was pretty impressive. So I gathered them up. I've been doing it for 3 weeks. But I found something that's particularly of good interest to me is this rock here. And I've got a couple like this, and I'll show them to you. I chipped this off. That, ladies and gentlemen, is all silver inside, all of it. With some kind of prima facie, I don't know what kind of rock that is, but it's actually covering a large 2-pound rock of nothing but silver inside, all the way through. As you see the backside, chip it off so you can see it's all the way through. It's all solid silver. I'm learning how to process that as well. And that being said, we'll put that piece down and we come to an even more original piece that I broke the tip off of so you can see. Now, with this color, I have no idea what is on the outside of that, but I broke the tip off and you can see that is all silver. All the way through. Nothing but silver. Another couple of pounds of silver, actually. I chipped at it a few places to see how far and deep it goes. Silver is actually bleeding through that brownish gold color. So we're going to go down through here, and we're getting to the process. I have some pans where I process this stuff even further. These rocks really are fascinating. You can see the gold throughout the rock, and you can see the flash spots. If I roll it over, it's quite dark. Gold striations, quite dark. Perhaps somebody could enlighten me whether this is silver content or platinum. But I think they're just fantastic looking rocks. These are all the same kind of rocks. They all come from a very large, and then look at this. See right there, there's a strike of gold there. It's actually a chunk of gold. I'll have to pry that out. And of course, as you look the rest of it, you can still see some more gold saturate all through this rock. I'm quite fascinated with this piece. There's an awful lot of gold, and I presumably silver or platinum as well. So I kind of like that rock quite a bit. This one as well is in the same situation. As soon as I do more research, and perhaps I can get your comments and tell me what I need to do, what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. Be much appreciated. I will not get my feelings hurt if you tell me, however you want to tell me what I need to do. A little bit of help would be greatly appreciated. But this is what I found, folks. It took me 3 weeks to run all this down. It's quite a lot. I have processed about 35 pounds of this exact kind of rock, which we'll get to here in a minute in the pans. I just want to give you an idea of what we're actually looking at. Most of these things are just incredible looking. I mean, look at that pocket of gold. That's incredible. It looks fantastic. This specimen, let me grab this one. I just thought this was different because you can see there's a band there, brownish gold color on the outside. I don't believe that's gold, but I'm still learning about this. And there's a dark band in the middle, and I believe that's a dark band of silver. It's the same rock that we have over here. I believe that's all silver inside. But this is unique, so I don't want to break it or crush it or anything. I want to see if there's a reason I need to keep it as whole. And you can see a lot of the little bitty rocks. We won't go to those individually at this time because I'm going to crush all this up. But they have the same content, as you can see. Now, as we get a little further, I'm going to get to some really interesting rocks here, like this one in particular. I really like this one. It does have the copper and the gold striations, and it looks like some dark colored possible silver in it. But as we flip it over, where I broke it in two so you can see, definitely deep pockets of silver or platinum or both. But you can see silver content running here. I'm always open to hear what you have to say about it. Here's a piece that I chipped off, same pocket inside. Here's another little piece I chipped off, same pocket inside. This rock as well, silver content. We roll it over. We have that same kind of gold striations, but for my money, I believe this is silver or platinum in the middle. And here. Now, to this rock. I find this one to be completely fascinating. It has such colorization. It reminds me of a rose gold, the way it looks. And like the black sand that's hardened. And so I'm thinking that's probably, it's a quite heavy rock, quite heavy. I think it's got a mixture of gold in it, and I think it's got either a dark silver or a platinum mixture in it. And this is a piece that's out of that. It was a much larger piece, and I broke it down to get some chunks. Same color, same rose gold configuration, same silver configuration on both sides. As we get down to this rock, I'm a little fascinated by this one because it's got everything in it. I can actually see iron. There's no doubt there's iron in this rock. Looks like some gold as well. Definitely some copper. And so there you have it. These are just small pieces that I wanted to show. And this being my first video on gold prospecting and collection. Quite a lot of silver in this one. And this one will show you just because of that. Good silver content, quite heavy rock. And it does have, like our bigger pieces that were up here, it does have that same fascia where that could be copper. But with the holes, the natural forming holes, I don't know if copper does that. I've not found anything in research that says it does. So, now let's move on over here. We have our big gold pan. You can see our big gold pan. I panned this, and you can see as we go through it, if we get down to the bottom of this pan, the dust that's in here has quite a few small chunks of gold in it. So small that I've had difficult time getting them out with tweezers, but I'm still making headway. So this is after it's been panned about 6 times. So you can see there are some pieces of gold in here. I've been working at this consistently for a couple of weeks. Although I've panned in the past, never on this level after crushing up all this ore. So that's our large gold pan. We're going to go to our medium gold pan, where we still have quite good sized smaller rocks. And you can see it looks like we've got some smaller gold chunks. I will finish grinding this up so everybody can see. I've actually got some silver rocks in here. And of course a lot of quartz, but gold always runs with the quartz, so that doesn't hurt my feelings at all. So we've been busy, and of course there's an awful lot of gold dust in these pans. We'll go to our smaller, or actually smallest pan that we have for gold panning. Now this is concentrated. I actually broke this down out of one particular rock that I found. And I've pulled some nuggets out of this. And there's still a few in there I need to pull out, as you can see. And this is in low light, so In low light, when you pick up the gold, you know you're doing good. So, that's our concentrate. That's our most concentrated. And there's some pretty good chunks of gold in there. And as I go, I'm learning, so any comments, suggestions, I'm definitely open. We're going to move on to a Tupperware container where I've separated a lot of the little stones that I've crushed up from big stones, so you can have an idea what I'm going through. This area is noted for its iron content, its copper content. And this has not been pushed down, but if you see down there in the corner, you can see gold dust. And there too. Quite a lot of work still to go. It's a work in progress because I'm not the professional gold miner by any means. So, now this is an old pie pan because I ran out of gold pans. Just being honest, I did. These are medium-sized to large rocks, which they're not large as in, there's large rocks for what I need to crush down. This is all rock. There's no dust in here. I've panned this probably 20 times, trying to break it down, and there's some small pieces of gold in there. Now this is a bag of dust, and it's pretty much all gold dust. Get this open so you can see. It's about 3 ounces. So we are making headway here the best we can. Little tiny rocks in there as well, but mostly dust. I'm pretty proud of this. But yet again, I'm going to have to separate this. I need to get me a gold pen so I can identify, exactly how much gold is in here. But it's pretty good headway for an amateur's first time out. At least I think so. Now, on to the nuggets that we have. Okay. I have found a few nuggets. The problem I found is these nuggets are not solid. There's gold, but from what I've found and what I see, you see what I mean? They're not solid. I need to break them down further. Oops. And not drop them if I can help it. That's probably our best nugget there. That's actually a very nice nugget. This one here is not bad. So we are making some headway. This tiny one here, I like this one too. Now for me to grade the gold to see what carat it is, I'm going to let somebody else do that. Now there's a lot of things out there on YouTube on how you can turn your 9 carat, 10, 11, 12 into full 24 carat. 24 full parts of gold. It's using different kinds of acids and everything, which are mostly toxic. I'm not willing to take that risk at this point, but I thought I would show you the nuggets we actually found. I'm actually pretty proud of myself for actually being able to find them. Because for me, it's a lot of work because there's so many things to look at. Now we're going to get into what I learned in Colorado when I was going through quartz. I found a small piece of quartz. Obviously, you can see the line through the quartz. That is gold, folks. I've crushed some of this quartz down, but mostly I've just broke it down to this. And it looks like pure quartz. It definitely does have gold in it. Gold always runs with quartz. I've been told this 1,000 times by 1,000 people. And the research I do says the same thing. That's a small piece. I shaved that in half so you can see it. And now I'm going to show you some very interesting things with this quartz that I found. This is one quartz rock. It weighed about 1 pound. And we're going to go through some of this as we go. This, along with this chip, see if you can see that very well. it's actually got a chunk of gold in it, along with the quartz. I'm still learning how to process this as I go. The quartz, it does have gold in it. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? I'm so happy I found this. This was just laying on the ground in the desert. Isn't that nice? So, we'll go through a few more pieces real quick. And the reason I want to go through this quartz, if you see, I got a ton of gold chunks in there, which I'm pretty happy with, that I've removed from the quartz. And then I've got a ton that I need to remove. Okay, we look through this, see the quartz, but then we get to the side, there's something in that quartz. I don't believe that where my fingernail is gold. Maybe a little piece. Look at that, man. Maybe a little piece, but I think there's some there. This piece has quite a lot of gold running to that little small vein across. And then on the corner. So guys, if you think I'm doing the right way, please let me know. I am an amateur at this, but I'm picking up pretty quick. I read a lot. I read everything I get my hands on, actually, on just about every subject. I think I've got gold everywhere in here. Matter of fact, I know I do. I've tested some of this. And then if we dump the rest of this out, look at that. There's a nugget right there. It just fell out. Look at that nugget. Look at that nugget. Look at that. Trying to get these things in. Look at that right there. Sorry, puppy. I can't bring you in right now.
Come on, baby. Come on.
So, if I can pick that up.
We'll be back. Come on.
I'll play with you in a minute, doggy.
All right.
Okay, there's a nice little chunk nugget of gold. I'm pretty proud of that. There's several in here, but that's the one I think is pretty. So, for now, this is Otis Hoheimer signing off. I just want to let you guys know this is what I've been up to. So far, so good. I've got a lot of work ahead of me. I still have a ton to process. Some of these bigger rocks, if I get your comments and feeds, I was told that some of these things you don't want to crush up because they're more valuable as specimens the way they are. I would love some feedback on these bigger stones, because there's a spot out there in the desert. There's another stone over there. It's about 110 pounds. That's a good estimate. That looks just like that one. And it's full of silver and stuff. I actually broke it open. So, until next time, this is Otis Hoheimer signing off. Thank you very much.